This is the present day era, and that's the last ice age. Then it goes up. We're going back in time now, 650,000 years. That's the period of warming between the last two ice ages. That's the second and third ice age back, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh ice age back. Now, an important point. In all of this time, 650,000 years, the CO2 level has never gone above 300 parts per million. Now, as I said, they can also measure temperature. Here's what the temperature has been on our Earth. Now, one thing that kind of jumps out at you is, well, let me put it this way. If my classmate from the 6th grade that talked about Africa and South America were here, he would say, did they ever fit together? Most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. But they did, of course. And the relationship is actually very complicated, but there is one relationship that is far more powerful than all the others, and it is this. When there is more carbon dioxide, the temperature gets warmer because it traps more heat from the sun inside. In the parts of the United States that contain the modern cities of Cleveland, Detroit, New York, in the northern tier, this is the difference between a nice day and having a mile of ice over your head. Keep that in mind when you look at this fact. Carbon dioxide, having never gone above 300 parts per million, here is where CO2 is now. Way above where it's ever been as far back as this record will measure. Now, if you'll bear with me, I want to really emphasize this point. The crew here has tried to teach me how to use this contraption here, so if I don't kill myself, I'll... It's already right here. Look how far above the natural cycle this is, and we've done that. But ladies and gentlemen, in the next 50 years, really in less than 50 years, it's going to continue to go up. When some of these children who are here are my age, here's what it's going to be in less than 50 years. You've heard of off the charts. Within less than 50 years, it'll be here.
Háganle caso, es cierto lo de la inundación.
¿Ah, sí? ¿Tengo razón? Sí, así es.
Momento, tú dijiste que no habría inundación. ¿Por qué habríamos de creerte?
Porque vimos lo que hay allá arriba. La presa se va a romper, todo el valle se va a inundar.
La inundación es un hecho y llegará pronto.
The latest scientific data confirm that the Earth's climate is rapidly changing. In the 2006 European heat wave, temperature records were broken for a fourth year in a row. For some countries, July 2006 was the warmest month since official measurements began. Scientists say that unless global warming is stopped, temperatures could rise another 3 to 9 degrees by the end of the century, with far-reaching effects. Sea levels will rise, flooding our coasts. Heat waves will be more frequent and more intense. Droughts and wildfires will occur more often. Disease-carrying mosquitoes will expand their range, and plant and animal species will be pushed to extinction. Frighteningly, many of these changes have already begun. Glaciers all over the world continue to melt. The polar ice caps are breaking up. Brutal storms pound our shores. The sea level is rising. Already people in coastal villages like Shishmaref, Alaska, and Tuvalu in the Pacific are being forced to abandon their homes. In Bangladesh, the rising sea could displace millions. The coming climate change will fill the headlines, create global conflict, and threaten our way of life. To see just how the environment may wreak havoc in our lives, we will look at the worst-case scenario of our searing Earth.
Ok, ya entendí, pero piénsalo. Si dejas pasar esta oportunidad, desaparecerá tu especie. Y eso es egoísta.
I think, to me, as a natural scientist, the single biggest problem that we have with current global warming is the introduction of CO2 into the oceans. CO2's, after all, life, according to some of these industrial ads that we've seen on TV. But CO2 also produces a lot of acid. In the oceans, when you add CO2 to the oceans will become increasingly acidified, and that has the potential impact of causing the largest mass extinction that the world has probably ever seen.
Diego, retrae las garras, por favor.
Oh, sí, lo siento.
Si no te conociera, Diego, pensaría que le temes al agua. Ok. Lo bueno es que te conozco bien.
Hey, amigos. Tony tenía razón. Todo se derrite.